Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of Onward Takes. I am David Abruzzi.
And I'm Ethan Casales. How's it going, guys?
So, we have a lot to talk about today, namely Penn State's pretty dominant victory over Michigan State, 45-12, but that wasn't the only thing that happened last weekend. The Nittany Lions are headed to the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis.
Who would have thunk?
Certainly not me after the Michigan loss, certainly not anybody else, but hey, it's happening, it's real. I've pinched myself a number of times, and it is in fact real and happening. So, without further ado, we talk about Penn State's opponent, Wisconsin. The Badgers are quite the talented team, coming out of the West Division. It's a defensively stout team. You have 13.7 points against total. That is third in the nation. They don't let up a lot of points. Penn State, on the other hand, scores a lot of points.
Right.
So,
and really hasn't missed a beat since Dave Aranda went to LSU. Have been playing as well as any defense in the country, really.
Right, and just you look at some of the players, and actually talking about the team itself, something to note is size. It's a very large team, offensive line, running back, receivers, what have you.
Yeah, they're growing pretty big up there in Wisconsin, feeding them all that cheese.
It's got to be. Certainly not something in the water, but one of my favorite players to watch really is Corey Clement. 1,174 yards on the year right now, 13 rushing touchdowns. He's a bruiser. He's a guy that is going to go right up the middle. He has that second, third, fourth gear. Great vision, just a great all-around running back. Coming out of a program that's produced quite the laundry list of running backs in recent years. You got Monty Ball, you got Melvin Gordon. The list goes on. Going back to John Clay back in 06, who was one of my favorite running backs.
Mm-hmm. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you got J.J. Watt's younger brother, TJ. He's been wreaking havoc all over the defense from his outside linebacker spot. He's got 13 total tackles for loss this season, 9.5 sacks. So he's really the guy that the offensive line is going to be keying on to try and shut down, but easier said than done, obviously.
A matchup that I'm pretty curious to watch is Wisconsin's secondary versus Penn State's wide receiver group. So as we know, Penn State is very, very deep at the wide receiver position, be it Saeed Blacknall, Chris Godwin, Deshaun Hamilton.
Even Mike Gesicki in the passing game, breaking that single-season record of Mickey Schuler. So
Penn State's offense, namely Trace McSorley, is a penchant for throwing the deep ball. He loves to look for the deep play.
Right, because when teams are trying to shut down Saquon in the running game, it just opens up all those passing lanes for Godwin to beat his defenders deep, Saeed as well. So.
Right, and you heard Franklin say on Tuesday, Trace McSorley keeps his eyes downfield. He's very mobile, but he keeps plays alive, and that's what's important, and that's why it'll be interesting to see, does Penn State change its game plan? Does it go to the more quick passing routes, the shorter patterns?
Seems like we haven't seen DeAndre Tompkins much the last few weeks, and he was really a guy that really stepped up and showed that downfield threat out of the slot. So.
Right, his versatility and his ability to produce after the catch. So, I think it's more of an issue of mitigating players like Dixon. Again, this is a secondary rather that's recorded 11 interceptions over the last 3 games. Just let that kind of sit. Right. That's a lot of picks. That's right. A lot of picks, a lot of turnovers, and a lot of scoring opportunities for the offense. So there have been plenty of questions asked in recent days about the health status of redshirt freshman quarterback Alex Hornibrook for Wisconsin. He has been the Badgers' leader all year. He's been pretty effective. The lefty suffered a head injury and was being evaluated by the medical team all week, but Wisconsin hasn't said anything. We don't know anything for sure, but James Franklin let us in on a little secret.
Interesting enough that he would fill people in on another team's player rather than his own.
Right, but hey, we'll take anything that we can get at this point. But he did say that his trusted sources have informed him that Alex Hornibrook likely will play. And Franklin obviously understands the significance of the game and of the stage, and that if the injury's not going to affect the kid long term or keep him out for an extended period of time, he's probably going to play. Mm-hmm. But don't think that you won't see senior quarterback Bart Houston, who has kind of filled in that, setup man role, if you will, to Hornibrook. He comes in to provide a change of pace. Usually 2 quarterback systems don't really work out that well, but the Badgers are
Working
making.
all right for the Badgers this season.
They're making
for
it
sure.
work pretty well.
And then on the Penn State side, Franklin didn't really tip his hand, but he has said that Saquon Barkley is likely to play this weekend. We'll have to see on Saturday, but my guesses are that he'll probably be out there.
Yeah, and on that, ankle injury, but Franklin also noted that a challenge in recent weeks has been managing the touches of reserve running backs. So you got Andre Robinson, Mark Allen, Miles
Sanders.
I mean, you have a laundry list here, and every single player has shown this season that he's capable of, if he doesn't hit the home run, he can get in the end zone, he can make some noise. So it'll be interesting to see if Barkley isn't 100%. Is this when we see Miles Sanders get his chance to shine?
Right.
I don't know the answer. Ethan doesn't either, but we're going to find out on Saturday. So before we leave you, we're going to give you our score predictions for the weekend. Ethan, what do you got?
Thinking 34-31 Penn State.
I like it. I'm going to go 24-17 Penn State. Going to be close all the way through, and I think it's going to be a thriller in Indy.
Yeah, could come down to a Tyler Davis field goal. Let's see.
As always, folks, I'm David Abertazzi.
And I'm Ethan Casales.
We will see you next week. Go Penn State. See you in Indy.